What do you think of this one? It's a USA Today and Amazon best-selling author. Looks good. That means it's good, right?
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
Well,
But it's a bestseller. Best-selling author.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's any good.
Oh.
So that's what we're talking about today. Hi, I'm Tahlia Newland. I am the Managing Editor at AIA Publishing.
And I'm Rose Newland. I'm the book designer and publishing assistant at AIA Publishing.
Being on these bestseller lists doesn't necessarily mean what you think it does.
You know, now that you mention it, I have noticed there's a lot of Instagram authors and people who like to list that they're bestsellers on these things.
Yeah.
So what does it actually mean? Is it hard to get on these lists?
The USA Today bestseller list is a list of the top-selling 150 books over a week from Monday to Sunday. And to get on it, you have to sell between 5,000 and 9,000 books, and it depends on the timing.
That's a lot of books still, though. That's significant. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'd be happy if my book did that.
Sure. And, you know, they are legitimately on that list. It's just what's selling in America, right? And they don't take free books, but they do include 99-cent ebooks.
Okay, so if you're selling your book cheap and a lot of people happen to download it, then you get on the list.
You can do. The Amazon bestseller list has bestsellers for the different categories, right? So there are big categories like thrillers, huge numbers of books. So if you're number one in thrillers, that really does mean something, right? The thing about the Amazon best-selling list is the books are ranked hourly on their sales. So Hourly.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you could be an Amazon best-selling author for 1 hour.
Oh, so like if you organised 50 friends to buy your ebook as soon as it came on sale and was released, then you might get on there.
Yeah. And you take...
In a niche category.
In a niche category, right.
It's all about the niche.
Yeah, you don't need to sell as many books to be number one on that list as you do to be at the top of the general romance list, or number one in fiction.
Yeah.
Right?
That's huge.
If you're number one in the fiction category, right, then, you know, that really is something worth crowing about. But it's like, at what point does an author say they are an Amazon best-selling author? How long was their book at number one, and in what category was it in? So,
to be fair, if my book was there for an hour, I'd probably put that on my profile somewhere too.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. You know, I'm not saying that these authors are necessarily pulling the wool over your face.
That's an interesting saying.
Yes, I'm not saying that that's wrong or anything. It's just that you need to understand that it could have it could have been for an hour, and so it doesn't actually mean necessarily that the book was any good. And I came across a book just recently where the author had all these labels, and I actually I found myself thinking, oh, okay, so, you know, must be quite good. And I had a look at the blurb for the book, and the first line, it was just like they started it with an ending participle.
Oh no!
It's just like it's
the horror.
Such bad form, and I know it's one of my pet hates, but it's just like red flag. You know, like that is not good writing. So if that's in the blurb, so anyway, I looked then at the sample, right, and they had that fault, that writing blunder, that bad construction 3 times in the first 5 paragraphs. Right. There was also a copy editing error, and I looked at that and went, well, I wouldn't read that book, and yet this author can say
all of these things. Fair enough. Well, you'll have to read the sample of that book so that I can know if it's got any falsely used ing words that I shouldn't, so I just won't waste my time on. So would you say that the USA Today or the Amazon, like which one do you put more stock in, knowing what you do about it?
Oh, the USA Today, because it's over a week.
Yeah.
But
that means it's consistently selling well over the course of a week. It's not just that you've organise 50 of your friends to all buy it at the same time.
In 1 hour. And that can be done.
Yeah, wow.
If you've got really enthusiastic followers. But even with the USA Today best-selling list, there's a method. There's a couple of methods that you can use to get one of your books on that list. And authors do this because it's a really coveted thing to be able to say that about your book.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you and I thought, oh, must be good, right? So once you've got one book on that list, you can then say, I'm a USA Today and Amazon best-selling author, and you can put that on all of your books at the top of your blurb. Now, if you are aiming to get on the USA Today bestseller list, then you will probably hit the top of a category on Amazon as well, which is why you see those two things together all the time. Because the method for getting on those lists is the same.
If we put more stock in the USA Today, how are authors getting their book on that list?
Yeah.
For the folks at home who are wondering, do tell, what's the secret?
How do you do it? So you lower the price of your ebook and then you have to promote it.
For a week.
Yes, over the period of a week, between Monday and Sunday. So for most people, they will need to get a Bookbub deal. Now, Bookbub is a big book promotion service. They have, I don't know, millions maybe of people on their email lists, and they have email lists for all the different kinds of genres. They are very expensive, however, to pay for the ad. Usually people will get the money back on what they pay for the ad simply because it goes out to so many people, so lots of people buy it. You have to have your book reduced to go on this list, but also it's highly competitive to actually get on that list to get a promotion.
So Bookbub is selective?
Yes, but it's got an editorial bias.
What do you mean by an editorial bias?
The people that decide whether something's going to be accepted or not in the book world are generally considered an editorial staff.
Right.
Okay. And they don't say what their criteria is. We do know that they want a book to have a lot of reviews already. So to get on Bookbub, you have to make sure your book on Amazon has got lots of reviews. It also has to be available in a wide number of places. So it's also going to be on Kobo and Nook and all of that kind of stuff. However, anyone who gets a deal on Bookbub might as well go ahead and aim for the USA Today bestsellers list. They're paying like $800 American for one advert. In some categories, I think it's over $1,000 for one advert. So it costs to get on the USA Today best-selling list. It costs money, right? And some authors won't get their money back. They will spend more in promoting to get their book on that list than they will get back in sales, because 99 cents, right? And from Amazon, you only get 30 cents out of that back, okay? So this is how it works. But to be able to put that label on your book, on all your books for the rest of your career, right?
Prestige.
Yeah, but just it increases saleability.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. Or for some authors, it's worth it.
Do you think that someone, if their book was actually that good and just happened to have a really big following organically, do you think they could get on there without Bookbub?
You know, Harry Potter, for instance. Yeah,
genuine bestsellers would get there without the Bookbub, but that's how you can...
Yeah, that's how you can...
Pay for it.
That's how you can manipulate the system. I'm not saying that every book on that list did it this way. I'm just saying this is how you can do it.
Yeah.
So one big promoter like Bookbub, and you maybe put that in for a Tuesday or something. And then you have adverts in other places on the Monday through to the Sunday. So every day you've got an advert running.
Would people usually do this when they first release their book, like the pre-order, or not pre-order, but like the first week of release?
You pretty much can't get a Bookbub deal on a new book because they won't select it because it doesn't have a lot of reviews.
Right, so you've got to wait a little bit.
But it is a way to get onto the USA Today bestseller list, is to have a very, very long pre-order.
Yeah.
Because they count the pre-orders. Amazon doesn't count the pre-orders, right, in their sales ranking, but USA Today does. So say you've got 6 months at least of pre-orders and you market like crazy, then on the day that the book is released, all of those pre-orders come into that sales rank. They're all counted. That's a way you can help get your new book
numbers up.
And they take out ads and everything as well.
It really is all about the numbers and the timing and the promotion and stuff.
There's an even easier way.
Oh, you held out on that one till the end of the video. What's the easy way?
The really easy way is to do a co-authored book, right? So you get like 16 other authors and you all want to get that label.
Best-selling author.
Yeah. And you plan this together, okay? So you've got then 16 people taking out adverts. So you share the cost of the adverts between you. You've got all the email lists of all those different authors.
You capitalise on everyone else's following as well as your own.
Yeah.
The process of writing a book with 16 other people might be difficult though.
It's short stories, it's anthologies.
Right.
Right. So each one contributes a novella or a short story. So it's a collection. And
so short stories do have a place.
yeah, and there's lots of books like that. And they work for authors because say you've got 14 other authors and their fans don't know you, but they are going to read the book because it's a new short story, and they'll find you, and they'll go, oh, I like this person's story, so I'll look at more books for them. So just to do that is a good marketing thing anyway to do, right?
There you go. You can dig out all your short stories and they might be useful after all.
Yeah, but of course, if you want to do this, you need to find other authors who, one, are willing to work with you and have also got, enough of email lists to make this sort of, possible. 'Cause you want to tag along on somebody who's doing better than you, but you can't be so far behind them in the size of your email list that they'll just go away.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, because everybody has to be a win-win. So So that's how you do it. And then, of course, you can claim to be a USA Today and Amazon best-selling author because you put one short story in this anthology that got on the list.
There you go. Well, I will now know to look a little further when I'm browsing for my books to read on the internet.
And I am actually an Amazon best-selling author.
What? What?
You see, she's my daughter. She didn't even know that.
Well, you don't, have it above your desk or anything?
No, because
stick it on your door, your office door?
No, well, because it was for one day.
Oh, that's a whole 24 hours, though.
I know,
that's
it's
good.
24 hours.
That's like 24
It was during my
separate allotments that you could have not been best-selling.
It was during my Bookbub ad.
Well, there you go.
And it was in the metaphysical and visionary fiction category, which, that's actually a reasonable, that's quite a good achievement.
Also, for 24 hours, that's impressive. I'm impressed.
Good, yeah. But I don't say that you won't find on my book listings Amazon best-selling author. Yeah. Maybe I should put it there. It's like at what point?
At what point is it a stretch to say that?
Yeah.
A day, that's 24 whole hours. I don't know, it's better than 1 hour.
I know.
So where can people go for some more in-depth information if they want to see all of this written down?
Yeah, well, you can go to the blog and I've laid it out there. Just how you can get your book onto the USA Today bestseller list.
There you go.
Yeah, and I hope that your book would be worth that label. I also want readers just to be aware that label doesn't necessarily mean it's a good book. Because if readers accept bad writing, thinking it must be good, that's not good too. That's why I'm on a mission to improve the writing of indie authors. So there we are. That's it.
There we are.
So if you thought there was some value in this video for you or other people, you know what to do. Show your love. Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.